So now we're doing cyberbullying PSAs? Gypsy says it's damaging and it ruins lives. Girl, what do you think life after lockup was? What do you think using a man with autism, a low IQ, collecting permanent disability was? What do you think doing to your mom was? Honestly, the irony is Olympic level. You were just on OMI TV talking to minors, reposting shade, trespassing at Salon Centric, misrepresenting yourself by the way of fraud in there as well. And now you're dodging accountability? It's so crazy that you want to host a healing circle in front of a printer paper sign. Really? Like, ma'am, you're not the target. You've been trending on murder documentaries for years. Let's not act brand new. You can't post furry ears, fake proposals in the mall, and play victim in the same 48 hours. Baby, this ain't healing. It's rebranding. And if bullying is an issue, maybe log off long enough to stop starring in every scandal on TikTok. I'm just saying, that's a thought.
You mean to tell me an unlicensed high-profile convict was able to walk herself up into Salon Centric?
L'Oreal, tap in. Where y'all at? Because I know y'all didn't let Gypsy Rose BLANCHARD in there. She's not a cosmetologist. She has no license. She unalived her mom. And she's crying victim and acting like everybody's treating her bad. That she trespassed and misrepresented herself. Those are criminal charges. Are y'all going to do anything about that? L'Oreal. Because I know y'all don't play. So I'm a little shocked that we haven't seen anything done yet. What you doing, L'Oreal? Tap in, tap in. We need you to tap in. Honestly, I don't even think she could get a cosmetology license because the state board and her charges. Would they really let somebody with a scissors and shears that, never mind, but you know what I mean. So let me get this straight. You're a best-selling author on Amazon with a 1-star review, but you couldn't read the giant sign on Salon Centric's door that says licensed cosmetologists only? Baby, what was your book about? Not comprehension, clearly. Gypsy said it was a simple mistake, but sis, this isn't Target. Salon Centrics is for licensed cosmetologists only, not content creators trying to do DIY platinum on a box-star budget. And then saying, I didn't know, now I do, like the sign at the front doesn't say licensed professionals only in bold print. Girl, you were deep in the aisles with a cart, prepping like you were prepping for Fashion Week. Not a cameo in true crime documentaries. And let's not forget, this is the same woman who said, I'm a best-selling author. Like, that's a backstage pass to developer and toner. Man, being published doesn't mean you get a pass on the state board exam. And that shade about people's degrees not being less valuable, you could have kept that. Nobody asked you to compare a paperback to their license. At this point, Gypsy stay fumbling her PR like it's a plot twist. Lesson learned. We'll see. But next time, just grab Olaplex and log off respectfully.
I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that is sane.
Gypsy said sometimes she feels like she's the only sane person. And I want to ask, in what room, ma'am? Because if that room includes the people you've lied on, cheated on, and trauma bonded with, I can guarantee you sanity left the group chat a long time ago. This is the same person who fake cried about being bullied online while literally weaponizing her 9.8 million follower platform to target her ex-husband and anybody who doesn't treat her like a Disney princess. Sane? Girl, you staged a ring photo in the mall and tried to convince TikTok you found peace in cosplay ears. Be serious. The gaslighting isn't even subtle anymore. It's given Lifetime movie monologue. We see right through it. We really do, Bookie. And you really need to quit. Like, this is out of control. I actually did hear about it, but I'm going to be very honest with you. I know that they embellish things a lot, especially like the way they said I was a BLANCHARD plant, and they said that I must be working with them, and Gypsy wanted me to drop the story, and they made up all these things. I know that they embellish things, so until I see receipts, I'm not going to believe anything because of my experience. And that's no shade, that's just tea. I have seen what I've seen with my own eyes.
Dear Diary, the last couple of days have been off. The premiere of my reality TV show wasn't even good at all, and everybody was complaining about falling asleep during it. I filed for a lawsuit against Fancy and a restraining order, and it didn't work out because Fancy actually showed up because Nina called me out. I know Mike was just looking out for my best interest, but now it makes him look like he doesn't know what he's doing, when I really know he does. Now Fancy's bragging on the internet like everything is good, so now I really have to pursue these charges against her. And I just hope I can find an attorney because, I know this is high profile, but I'm a hot mess. Dear Diary, please help me.
Ryan Anderson did an interview with Extra TV. It's a very interesting interview, and I think you guys might want to see this. So, roll.
One of her friends has alleged that you got into Gypsy's face and you screamed at her. In your assessment, were you ever overly aggressive or physically threatening to her?
No, I've never physically threatened Gypsy at all. And she knows that. She's even said that. She's not afraid of me, and there's no reason to be.
Where would that come from?
I'm sure it was during our disagreement. Gypsy said some hurtful things, and I did get angry. I got upset, It's hard to hear stuff like when you're going through something and she tells you something, it's hard to hear. So as far as, me in her face screaming, if that's what she gathered from that, I hate that. But, it didn't happen quite like the friend said. And, it's just a disagreement, and it snowballed from there. Gypsy does struggle with PTSD from what her mother did. And I hit a trauma trigger that night, and she fled. And it was one of those where I saw it happened, and I immediately stopped and tried to check on her. And by then it was like that fight or fight PTSD moment happened. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. I hit a trauma trigger, and it just never stopped. It was one of those where it just kept going.
Some are also saying that she may have felt that life with you was too controlling after coming out of prison. How do you respond to that?
I disagree with that completely. If anybody knows Gypsy, they know that she is not going to be controlled. Anybody who knows Gypsy knows that she does what she wants when she wants. Just look at what she's been doing. She does what she wants whenever. As far as the controlling, I don't know how. That's their perception. And I think their perception is wrong. As far as controlling, they've said I wouldn't let her go swimming. You realize it was February when she wanted to go swimming. That's in the middle of winter. The pool's closed. Like, I've seen that a lot. I didn't let her go swimming. That was the only thing I ever told her no to. And the reason was we were both sick, and she'd have got pneumonia if she went swimming. But that's the one thing that, they latch on to, that I was controlling them.
Now, in this interview, I think it's very interesting that he did mention that it was in the middle of February. And obviously, we knew that this was in the wintertime, but I think a lot of people didn't put 1 and 2 together and realize it's the wintertime in Louisiana. It's cold, So it kind of makes sense as to why that would happen. Also, it's just strange that if these were the issues that she was facing and she really felt like Ryan was really an issue, why did she jump to Ken immediately after leaving Ryan? I think this was just an excuse, obviously, for her to just leave Ryan and justify being with Ken, because it was literally less than a week before TMZ posted the pictures of her with him. Also, I don't know if you guys remember that interview from last week where she made it very clear that she was not scared of him and he didn't harm her. But let's roll that clip.
What's so wrong so fast?
People need to understand that Ryan and I had been in a relationship for 3 years. And in those 3 years, we had been through a lot of ups and downs. And sometimes relationships just take its course.
And there was some intimation, some reporting out there that you were afraid of him. Is that accurate?
I'm not afraid of Ryan. I think that there is some things that happened that I think we both wish wouldn't have.
Anderson's attorney telling ABC News any allegations of abuse leveled against Mr. Anderson are false and adamantly denied. And we consider any such allegations to be defamatory in nature.
So again, I think this is definitely one of those issues where Ryan did get dealt a bad hand, especially after seeing this show, and seeing how she was with him when she first got out. And just knowing that she's been with Ken ever since, and she also spoke on being with Ken or having a dream about being with Ken prior to her getting out of prison and still going ahead and marrying Ryan. So I really honestly think that she was using him from the beginning, and I'm happy that Ryan spoke out finally. Thank you, Ryan, for speaking out. Bye bye for now. Oh, the tea is hot. I don't have my mug with me, but let's go on and talk about it. Everything I'm getting ready to say is all alleged. Fancy had everything dropped. Now, let's get into the details. Why? The venue wasn't in their jurisdiction. I was assuming that maybe possibly it was in their jurisdiction as Gypsy was incarcerated there, but I did have questions as to if it was in the right jurisdiction, so I thought that there might be some hurdles for Mike Stanfield putting it in this court. Now, had she not have shown up, they might have been able to get the restraining order, but later on they would have ended up possibly having it dropped depending on what would have happened, was my assumption. Now that might still be the case. I'm not sure how Missouri law works, but I do know that that would have been a possibility. She showed up, which ended up working out for her because she was there for it to be dismissed. Now, do I think charges can be filed again? Yes, absolutely, in the right jurisdiction. They do have a leg to stand on. Now, granted, I don't like the Blanchards. And I'm not the fondest of Fancy, especially after knowing she speaks about my looks and things that I feel like she shouldn't. However, they do have reason to sue her. And they could pursue it. I don't know if they're going to find an attorney that really wants to take it up, considering, Gypsy's record. And I mean, she could win the case, I think, or she could win a lot of the things that she's suing for, just based on the fact that there's proof of it and Fancy's actually admitted to it. And like I said, I think this is my opinion, but I don't know if it'll go any further. It may not. It'll be interesting to see what happens. If they do, I would love to see Fancy maybe countersue for some of the things they've done to her. It being that I would assume she'd have it documented. Because I don't think I would take a lawsuit one way. I would turn around and countersue if I could. So we'll see. But that is what's going on right now. We'll see. I hope you guys have a great day. I will be traveling this weekend, so I may not be as present as it's my good friend's bachelorette party, and I want to be as present for her as possible. But I will post in some of my downtime. I appreciate each and every one of you. I know I don't say that all the time. I do make posts here and there letting you guys know that I appreciate you, but I really want you guys to know that I appreciate all the love and support that I get from you guys. You guys are really, truly the best, and this has been such a crazy ride, but each and every one of you had made this ride so much fun. Right? Bye-bye for now. If you thought things couldn't get any worse, welcome to day 16 of the Diddy trial. They played the surveillance video in court, and what the jury saw was wild. Dragging, kicking, throwing things, all of it caught on tape. Diddy's lawyers tried to blame a corrupt file. The judge said, press play. Let's break down the footage that might have just changed this whole trial. Frank Piazza, the forensic video analyst, yes, he testified. And he explained that the footage had compression glitches called GOP, not politics, but a group of pictures. This format records only motions, not still shots. The defense was like, it's pixelated? Piazza said, sure. Was it manipulated? Piazza said no. So when the feds asked, should we play the tape? The judge did not hesitate. Trigger warning, graphic content is described, okay? Diddy throws Cassie on the ground, kicks her while she's down, chases her down a hallway, and drags her on the floor, throws objects on her. Now, this is possibly a vase, okay? Across the room, her reflection appears in the mirror during the chaos, captured in the angle of the violence. Y'all, this isn't he said, she said. This is a playback in the courts of law, okay? And this part, I think, is more important than people realize, because a lot of people are saying that they haven't proved RICO. It's not any one thing, it's everything. And what people fail to realize with RICO is it's a business that uses everything within the business or any part of the business to do criminal activity. Diddy's team went into damage control. It was not original file. The video overwrites itself every 10 days. This is just compilation. The judge was like, you've had months. If you didn't save it, that's on you. And Piazza, calm, unbothered, and still testifying, baby. So here's what makes things worse. In one section, you see Diddy holding a glow phone, okay? He's dragging Cassie down the hallway, picking up a vase, okay? And in the mirror reflection, you see him throwing it at her. The mirror reflection, okay? The mirror caught everything, even what the hallway camera couldn't. You can't dispute that. A mirror is a reflection of what is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, they trying to use a lot of stuff, but baby, it's caught. This footage hits totally different because it's not secondhand accounts, okay? It's not rumors. It's physical violence shown on screen in front of 12 jurors. This could be the moment that shifts the entire trial because once you see it, you can't unsee it. If Diddy thought the worst was behind him, this video just ripped the lid off, okay? You can't spin your way out of this when the camera doesn't lie. This was dragging, chasing, throwing, a full display of violence in a public sort of setting, in front of a courtroom. They were watching this in a courtroom. And that mirror shot, I think that was a nail in the coffin, to be honest with you. Y'all, stay tuned, stay seated, and stay ready because the tea pouring never stops. And this isn't just tea anymore, it's federal. Now, why is the stylist the one bringing the drugs? Baby, we've entered the dealer couture era, and it's messier than Fashion Week during a blackout. Let's talk about the designer who just told the court she was the plug for Diddy and Cassie. Yes, the plug. Fashion designer and Diddy's accuser, Brianna, testified in court that she personally brought cocaine, Molly, and mushrooms and ketamine for Diddy and Cassie. Not guessed, not suspected, brought multiple times. She said she either picked them up herself or used a delivery service, and Cassie always paid in cash. Let me say that again. The girl styling your fits was also running narcotics errands, like it was on a checklist next to steam this blazer and secure the mushrooms. And just when it's getting calm, Diddy's lawyer tries to catch her in a lie about the balcony incident. Y'all remember that, right? They said, didn't Cassie say this happened at a hotel? Then turned around and said, but wait, doesn't your apartment have a balcony? And Brianna hit them with the non-committal? She didn't say that. You could practically hear the defense team trying to build out, but baby, this house is made of cocaine receipts and contradictions. We've officially hit the point where the glam squad got subpoenaed. And if this is what the assistants were doing, what were the bodyguards up to? Stick around because the tea is boiling. The testimonies are dizzy. And this trial is not courtroom anymore. It's circus with subpoenas. Day 17 of the Diddy trial brought a unexpected courtroom drama. The judge issued a stern warning to Diddy and said, stop influencing the jury or you'll be removed from the courtroom. Let's get into it, child, because not Diddy trying to intimidate the jury. Like, sir, are you trying to cause a mistrial at this point? During the cross-examination of Brianna Bongalong, that's the friend of Cassie, the fashion designer that was doing the little rug errands, okay? Diddy was observed nodding vigorously while making direct eye contact with the jurors. So Judge Arun addressed this and said that he needed to get it together and that he warned Mark Ignifilo that the behavior was inappropriate and could lead to Diddy's removal from the courtroom. The judge emphasized the importance of maintaining a courtroom decorum, and we all know that's important, and preventing any potential influence on the jury, which why would he do that? It's Diddy, so, I mean, I guess, why would I even ask why would he do that? Now, the defense questioned Bongalong about the date of the alleged incident where Diddy supposedly held her over the 17th floor balcony. Now, they presented this evidence and suggested that Diddy had been in New York City on September 26 of 2016. Now, Bongalong cited, including hotel records and event attendance, but Bongalong admitted that she was uncertain about the exact dates because of like the time and, you know, the passing of time. So the prosecution later introduced, you know, text messages and stuff like that, basically indicating that the incident seemed like it happened around September 30th or on September 30th, rather. Now, There's a Jane that testified today. Now she's going under a pseudonym. Okay. Jane testified about her relationship with Diddy from 2021 to 2024, and she described being pressured into participating into like drug and fuel group X sessions, the freak offs, to maintain her financial support. And Diddy was actually providing housing for her. So Jane expressed feeling obligation to continue, and she knew he was very controlling, and she felt his control, and she highlighted the manipulative dynamics of their relationship. So, child, we'll see what happens with that. But y'all stay tuned, stay seated, and stay ready, because the tea don't never stop pouring. And Diddy might get tossed out the courtroom, child. Welcome to the Real Housewives of the White House, where the billionaires are beefing, the tea is toxic, and reputations are getting repossessed, baby. Elon just accused Donald Trump of being on the Epstein files and claimed he handed him the presidency. And baby, this is not C-SPAN. This is Bravo with bodyguards, okay? Because this just got so messy. Elon donated over $260 million to Trump's 2024 run. That's not just a flex. That's buying your way onto the reunion couch, okay? Now he's saying, without me, you would have lost. That's giving big sugar daddy energy with a vengeance, okay? Like, I paid for your BBL, and now I want the receipts. And then Elon pulled a classic housewives move, the confessional bombshell. He said the real reason Trump won't release the Jeff Epstein files is because, well, he allegedly is on them. Listen, this ain't shade. This is a nuclear fallout. Let's be real. Trump has acknowledged knowing the Epsteins, and there is footage of them partying back in the day. But Musk just escalated this from old photo op to why aren't the feds hitting press play? Like, Tesla is down $150 billion, okay? Trump media dropping like a ball wig in a windstorm. Investors are spooked. The fan base is fighting, and nobody brought a fan to cool it all down. Why? Because Trump passed one big, beautiful bill that has everybody pissed off. Elon's calling it a disgusting abomination. Translation, you sold me out for big oil, and I'm done being cute about it. Okay. He said, don't fluff the hair, child. Look, this ain't just politics. This is revenge of the rich, okay? Elon feels used, and Trump feels betrayed. And America, we just watch him like it's the season finale of White Collar Chaos, okay? We've got billionaires with burner accounts, political alliances breaking up over climate bills, and two egos that could fit in the same Secret Service SUV. And if those Epstein dots drop with Trump's name on it, ooh, child. Elon's tagline for the housewives is, I build rockets, but watch your empire crash. That's the real liftoff. And Trump, I don't throw shade. I just pass bills that bury my enemies. Y'all grab your popcorn, because the real White Housewives of the White House are fighting in the Oval Office, and somebody's about to get voted off this island of relevancy. Y'all stay tuned, stay seated, and stay ready, because the tea pouring don't never stop.